Hello everyone! First of all, it is a pleasure to be part of the IEOM Conference 2020. I am Fatma Eltarabishi, a master student in engineering management at University of Sharjah. I will be presenting this study titled MultiCriteria Decision-Making Methods and Their Applications with my colleague Engineer Omar, Dr. Imad and Professor Maamar. We all are from University of Sharjah at the United Arab Emirates. I will be following this plan throughout my presentation: introduction, research objectives, literature review, methodology, results and discussions, and finally a conclusion. So, on a daily basis, organizations and businesses face decision problems where they have many solutions to select from. They actually suffer from decision making in order to obtain a final outcome that will suit their goals and objectives. Therefore, we need an efficient and effective process to follow while making decisions. Here, MCDM comes into action. Multi-criteria decision making is a well-structured and multidimensional process developed to tackle decision-making problems in different fields and search for the most attractive alternatives with consideration of all the criteria. MCDM can be used in different fields such as supply chain management, risk management, material selection, and etc. The most well-known and used methods are clearly presented in this figure. These tools are powerful tools to analyze complex problems. Each decision maker can select a method for a decision-making problem, and another decision maker who will handle this same decision making problem might select another method. So it is really difficult to select one method for a specific decision making problem. Therefore, the aim of this paper is to guide the decision makers. This will be done by firstly going through a paper titled Multiple Criteria Decision-Making Techniques and Its Application, a review of literature from 2000 to 2014. This paper is done by Abbas Mardini, Khalil, Ahmed, and Zainab. Then we will be able to answer our two research questions: most commonly MCDM methods used in real-world applications, and how the trend of the MCDM methods changed when compared to Mardini's paper. But first, let's have a look at the literature of MCDM. Most of the literature reviewed have classified these methods into MODM and MADM. The only difference is that the multi-attribute decision making has a certain or a limited number of alternatives, while on the other side, for multi-objective decision making, it has an infinite number of alternatives for the decision maker to select from. Because the literature mainly concentrates on the MADM, we have excluded the MODM from our literature review. So, firstly, to start with, the AHP. AHP is one of the most frequently used methods due to its natural ease. Usually, the decision makers use AHP in complex problems due to its capability of decomposing any problem to a hierarchy structure, showing clearly the main goals, criteria, and all the feasible alternatives. The next method is the ELECTRI, and it is an outranking method that uses pairwise comparison to prefer an alternative among others. This method eliminates the least favorable alternative, in which the decision maker will be left with fewer alternatives to select from. Actually, this method is very suitable for any decision making problem that has fewer criteria and many alternatives. Thirdly, the Promethy. Actually, the Promethy is very similar to the ELECTRI, and it is also an outranking method that estimates the strength of one alternative over the other. Promethy has two versions. Promethe 1, or actually it has more than one version, but the most common versions of the Promethe is 2. Promethe 1 for partial ranking and Promethe 2 for full ranking, and each version is used or it is applied based on the nature of the problem. Finally, the TOPSes. The TOPSes is a very unique method that uses simple and logical mathematical concepts. It's actually easy and a very straightforward process. So now, moving to the methodology, the aim of this research will be accomplished following these steps. First phase is to present an overview of Mardini's paper. Second phase to conduct a literature review from 2015 to 2019. The third phase is to classify the conducted literature review, and finally to analyze the outcomes of the third phase the third phase, and to compare the results with Mardini's paper. The first phase is to overview the 393 articles from 2000 to 2014. One of their results is shown here in this figure, which explains the most frequent methods of MCDM during the period of 2000 to 2014. Mardini's paper defined hybrid MCDM as the combination of two or more MCDM methods integrated together. So, for example, AHP and integrated with TOPSes. So, this is called hybrid MCDM. Cobras, ARAS, SWARA, and these other two methods are referred to as aggregate methods. And to note, we will be using the same definitions while conducting our own literature review. Moving to the next phase, we adopted Mardini's method when conducting our literature review, where we use the same keywords here, but for different period of time, which is from 2015 to 2019. We selected 89 articles based on their relevancy, citation number, and how the methods were discussed throughout the paper. Thirdly was to classify the searched articles based on the year of publication and based on how many papers were released for each method in the last 4 years. Here in this figure, we can see a growing trend after the decrease in 2017, and we are assuming that this trend will keep growing on for the upcoming years. In this figure, it presents the distribution of the 89 articles that we researched. And as clearly seen, the hybrid MCDM is the top ranked with 28 articles, followed by 19 articles AHP, 16 by aggregation methods, TOPSes, and electri were almost equally ranked. It is clearly seen also that the hybrid MCDM is obtaining a very well-known reputation, as Mardini's paper predicted. We noticed also that the articles that used the hybrid MCDM method, they have combined the AHP for weight criteria and TOPSes as an alternative ranking. The decision makers actually find it very challenging to select one single method, so they are now referring to combine two methods in order to gain the advantage of both methods, and try to mitigate the disadvantages or the cons of those methods. And actually, this figure is basically our answer to the first research question, which is the most commonly MCDM methods used. Finally, here in this table, this is actually also the answer of our second research questions. This table shows the trend of the used methods changed throughout the years. Hybrid methods have developed. Hybrid MCDM method has developed, as it's seen here, and it became first ranked. For TOPSs, it is true that TOPSs is easy to use and it is a simple process and has a high computational efficiency, but it is becoming scarce, as well as the electri method. So both of them are stable and equally ranked in both periods of time. We can also observe that the usage of the single methods such as the AHP, TOPSs and electri are becoming less popular in solving decision-making problems when compared to the previous years. So we can see here, or we can investigate, that the hybrid MCDM method is the leading method where most decision makers are referring to currently in this period of time, 2015 to 2019. And also, it was stated in the literature that SWARA, which is an aggregation method, this method improves the criteria prioritization process, which means that the decision making will be more reliable. And therefore, we can assume, or we can suggest, that the aggregation methods are the upcoming new leading technique in the next years due to their high efficiency and reliability. In conclusion, we have reviewed 89 articles in MCDM methods over the last 4 years. Sorry, I have a typo here. And we found out that hybrid MCDM is the currently leading method, and aggregation methods, or in specific SWARA, is becoming the new leading technique in the upcoming years. Thank you for your listening and hope you enjoyed it, and bye bye.